Hello all, I am the Holland Phantom, and for today's video we're going to be having a live battle from the 2009 format. On one side, we've got the Luxray Toolbox deck, as used by Tsubasa Nakamura, the Junior Division World Champion of 2009, going up against the Gengar deck, as used by Jason Martinez, the Junior Division finalist of that year. So we'll see which of these two decks can take the victory today. Also, you can now directly support the creation of these videos by becoming a channel member, or by supporting us through Super Thanks. But honestly, don't feel obligated to do so, just watching these videos and interacting is enough. We really appreciate it. And now with that out of the way, let's get into the battle! And here we go, the battle has started, with both players flipping over their starting Pokemon. On the Luxray side, we've got Sableye as the active Pokemon with the Luxray on the bench, and on the Gengar side, we've got Gastly as the active Pokemon, with another Gastly and a Baltoy on the bench. The Luxray side is going first, attaching a Darkness Energy to the active Sableye, and then quickly attacking with Overconfident, taking the one-hit KO against Gastly, as Overconfident hits for 40 damage if the opposing Pokemon has fewer HP than Sableye, and Gastly is also weak to Darkness-type Pokemon, so it went down quickly. Okay, now over to the Gengar side, the player uses Rosan's Research as her support for the turn to search the deck for another Gastly and a Uxie to add to their hand. So there we see the next Gastly coming down to the bench, followed by Crobat G to activate its ability Flash Bite, dealing 10 damage to Sableye, and then negating the ability of the Overconfident attack. Next we see the Stadium Broken Time Space, followed by Uxie, activating its ability Setup, and now the player can draw until they have 7 cards in their hand. The next trainer card is going to be a Pokedex. The player can look at the top 2 cards of their deck. They can keep one of those cards in their hand and then put the other one at the bottom of the deck. So just quickly drawing through their deck some more. There we see another Pokedex, once again looking at the top 2 cards, keeping one, putting the other one at the bottom. Okay, there it goes. Are we going to be seeing any energy cards coming down to this turn? Or any evolutions, as the player does have the Broken Time Space. Okay, we see the Psychic Energy coming down to the bench Gastly. And there's the attack, Pitch Dark. It is a free attack, which prevents the opposing player from using any trainer cards during their turn. Now over to the Luxray side, here we have a Crobat G coming down, activating Flash Bite to deal 10 damage to Gastly, which activates Overconfidence ability once again, as Gastly once again has fewer HP than Sableye. There's another Overconfident attack, take another KO, and that is 2 prizes taken by the Luxray side. They've got a pretty big lead in the first 2 turns of the game. On the Gengar side, Crobat comes up as a new active Pokemon, and the player activates BB Search, swapping out a card from their hand for a Gengar from the deck. So if the player has a Haunter or a Rare Candy, the bench Gastly can evolve right away. And it's going to be a Rare Candy. Gastly evolves straight into its Gengar form. It can start attacking with Shadow Room this turn. The player then uses Poketurn to pick up the Crobat and put it back into their hand. And now Gengar finally comes into the active spot. Crobat comes back down, once again activating Flash Bite, hitting the opposing Crobat for 10 damage. And then we see a second Crobat, also putting 10 damage on the same Crobat. It's down to just 60 HP, it's within range of the Shadow Room. Yeah, there's the attack declared Shadow Room, hitting Crobat for 60 damage, as Shadow Room can hit any Pokemon on the opposing player's side for 30 damage, but it can hit for 60 damage if that Pokemon has a Poke Power. So Gengar has taken their first prize of the game. Now on the Luxray side, the player activates Cyrus's Conspiracy, as they can finally use trainer cards on their side. Cyrus's Conspiracy can search the deck for a Lightning Energy, a Poketurn, and a Rosan's Research to add to their hand. So with Lightning Energy, we might be seeing Luxray attacking this turn. Yeah, there we see the Energy Attachment coming down. Followed by Energy Gain. It's a Pokemon tool equipped to the Luxray, reducing its attack cost by 1 colorless energy. And now Sableye pays the retreat cost to promote the Luxray. And let's see if the player has a level X form in their hand. Yes, they do. Luxray level X comes down, activating its ability Bright Look to bring up the opposing Baltoy into the active spot to take another KO this turn. There's the attack declared, Flash Impact, hitting for 60 damage, taking the one-hit KO against Baltoy, and that is the 3rd prize taken by Luxray, although Sableye does take 30 recoil damage from that attack. Gengar comes back into the active spot now, and the player activates Night Maintenance, searching the discard pile for the Baltoy that was just KO'd, and 2 Gastly to shuffle back into the deck. They are still 2 prizes behind, so let's see if this Gengar can make a comeback. The player activates Rosan's Research once again as they're supported for the turn, searching out another Gastly to put onto their bench. and a Psychic Energy to fully power up the active Gengar. So we are going to be seeing a Poltergeist attack. Actually, we might even see a Shadow Room attack, as Sableye only has 20 HP left, and Shadow Room can take the KO against it. There's the attack, and it's going to be Poltergeist. It hits for 30 damage, times the number of trainer cards in the opposing player's hand, and that is a ton of trainer cards, easily taking the one-hit KO against Luxray, and Gengar takes their second prize. It's going to be 3 prizes remaining to 4. Sableye comes back up. It's only got 20 HP remaining. Things are not looking good for the Luxray side. The player activates Roseanne's Research to search the deck for a Honchkrow and Luxray to add to their hand. Okay, so they're not going to be getting KO'd this turn. Well, I mean to say that the Sableye probably will be getting KO'd, but the player will not lose by bench out. Okay, both Pokemon coming down to the bench, and there's the attack. It's going to be Impersonate this time. It is a free attack, and then Sableye can copy the effect of any supporter from the deck. And it's going to be Aaron's Collection that is chosen, and they can use its effect to get back a Lightning Energy and a Luxray level X from the discard pile back into their hand. Now quickly back over to the Gengar side. Ghastly evolves into Haunter, and then immediately into another Gengar thanks to the ability of the Broken Time Space. No more cards are played. There's the attack, Poltergeist. Once again, looking at the opposing player's hand. And then, yeah, that's still a lot of trainer cards there. Hitting for 30 damage times the number of trainer cards. And now both sides are tied at 3 prizes remaining apiece. Luxray comes back into the active spot now. We do know the player has the Luxray level X in their hand. And then we see Cyrus's Conspiracy searching the deck for 3 more cards. They're going to be choosing a Darkness Energy as their basic energy card. An Energy Gain, and the supporter is going to be another Cyrus's Conspiracy. The player does have to be careful not to load up their hand with too many trainer cards, as it does power up the Poltergeist on the Gengar. Then we see a Lightning Energy coming down to the active Luxray, followed by the Energy Gain. So we will be seeing a KO from the Luxray level X. Yeah, there it comes back down, activating its ability Bright Look to target... what's it going to be? One of the Crobat, as Crobat is weak to lightning-type attacks. There we go. Okay, next we see a Dialga G coming down to the bench, followed by Toxicroak G, just loading up their bench with some more Pokemon. And finally, there's the attack, another Flash Impact hitting for 120 damage thanks to weakness. 30 damage is dealt to the Dialga by the recoil, and that is 4 prizes taken by Luxray. Gengar comes back into the active spot now. We do know the Luxray player has a ton of trainer cards in their hand, so the Poltergeist can easily take the KO. There's the attack declared. Let's see, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wow, that is going to be 210 damage, taking the KO against Luxray level X, and both players are tied at 2 prizes remaining apiece. A lot of back and forth going on between these 2 players. What's going to be the new active Pokemon? Okay, it's going to be the Honchkrow G now. The player does not have any energy cards in play. Okay, Ditto comes down onto the bench, and the player activates Roseanne's Research as their supporter once again, searching the deck for a Crobat G and a Psychic Energy to add to the hand. So let's see what the play is going to be for this turn. We do know that the Ditto can't copy Gengar's attacks, that we see Poketurn picking up the Honchkrow to promote Ditto. Okay, so yeah, that's going to be the play. Ditto activating its Pokebody, Ditto DNA. It gets a Psychic Energy. It can now copy Gengar's Shadow Room attack. Then we see Crobat G coming down, activating Flash Bite, dealing 10 damage to the opposing Uxie. And Honchkrow G comes back down onto the bench. And there's the attack. Ditto copies Shadow Room, dealing 60 damage to the opposing Uxie to take another prize. So the Luxray side is down to just 1 prize remaining. Let's see if Gengar can make a comeback. A second energy comes down to the benched Gengar. So we have 2 fully powered up Gengar on this side. No more cards are played. There's the Poltergeist. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hitting for 150 damage, taking the KO against Ditto. Unfortunately, Ditto does not copy the Fainting spell. And that is 1 prize remaining apiece. Crobat comes into the active spot now. Let's see what the Luxray player can do. They have to take a KO this turn. Otherwise, Gengar might take it away on the following turn. There we see a Cyrus's Conspiracy, adding an energy gain to the player's hand. Psychic Energy, and what else? Okay, if I remember correctly, the player had 5 trainer cards in their hand. They just played one, but they added another one, so they still have 5 trainer cards. There's Poketurn. They're down to 4, so Poltergeist is hitting for 120 damage. They gotta get rid of 2 more trainer cards to prevent the one-hit KO from the Gengar. There's a Flash Bite hitting Gengar for 10 damage. A Darkness Energy comes down to Honchkrow. There's the energy gain. That is 3 trainer cards left in the player's hand. Lucario comes down, activating its ability Boundary Aura. Oh, and here we go, SP Radar. SP Radar gets rid of one card from the player's hand, which I'm pretty sure is going to be a trainer card just thinning out the player's hand. So now the player must have only, I think, 2 trainer cards left in their hand, so Poltergeist can only hit for 60 damage. Not enough to take the KO against this Honchkrow. There's the attack. Target attack hitting for 80 damage thanks to the ability of Boundary Aura, doubling all Pokemon's weaknesses. And on the Gengar side, here we see a Zangoose coming down to the bench. It gets the Psychic Energy. And yeah, I don't think Gengar can take the KO against anything. They're on the ropes right now, so Gengar retreats to promote the Zangoose. And then it attacks with Invite and Strike, hitting the opposing Dialga to drag it into the active spot, and then dealing, I believe, 20 damage to it. So the player's going to be trying to stall out this turn, keeping this Dialga stranded in the active spot. So on the following turn, Gengar can take the KO, but if the player has a Poketurn, they can just pick up the Dialga and then attack with Honchkrow to take the KO. Okay, let's see if they have it left in their deck. There's Cyrus's Conspiracy. And yes, they do. Here's a Poketurn. Honchkrow will be able to close out this game. Poketurn picks up the Dialga. Honchkrow comes back into the active spot, and Target Attack can take the KO against the bench Gengar. Yeah, there's a final attack, Target Attack to take the KO, but also Gengar has that Fainting Spell Poke Power. If it rolls the heads, it can take the Revenge KO against Honchkrow. Here's a coin flip. Oh, and it's heads! Oh, the player's really happy. They give a thumbs up. Both Pokemon are KO'd at the same time, meaning that both players take their final prize. And there's the handshake. It's going to be a draw. There is no winner. So what did you guys think of that battle? Let me know down in the comments below. And be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and share this video to help the channel grow and reach new viewers. Thanks a lot for watching, and until next time, this is the Holland Phantom logging out.